Hello and welcome to another episode of Utopia Restorations. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Will and this is Utopia Restorations. This is a workshop where we work on Land Rovers, sports cars, rally cars, motorbikes, do consignments and we do restorations. This lovely blue Series 3 is in for some work with us. So what I'm going So just a quick one before I take you for a full walk around and show you what we're doing and the work that we're going to be doing. Make sure you like and subscribe because it really helps us out. Don't want to ask them too much, but would be really appreciated. And this one's going to be a little mini series to follow it. We've got MX-5 that we're doing a series on as well and showing that we're going to be taking that for track days and things like that in the future. And we've got more restorations in, like this one behind me, and we've got bikes for sale and we've got cars for sale. So there's loads going on. We're going to be getting out a video a week. So make sure you like and subscribe and see what's going on at Utopia. So here she is. Let me give you a walk around. I'm going to give you a bit of a talk through and then I'm going to show you what work we're doing. So yeah, it's a 88 Series 3 and it's a diesel. Personally, diesels aren't my favourite, but they are still pretty good as Land Rovers go. So I'll take you around and show you what it's got and things that are going to be happening to it. Let's start with the front. It's got very cool 4D number plates. Well, I say 4D, that's the new ones, isn't it? The old school sort of printer style. I want to get a set of this on mine because I like them a lot. Got the galv effect on the front bumper. You can see some bits that we need to sort. Yeah, all in all, it's got a very clean, very sort of original aesthetic to it. It does have these larger indicators, which is slightly interesting. Not really sure why it's got those or what's happened in its history. But as always with the Land Rover, there's a bit of work and a bit of interest to them as usual. All sort of bonnet's good, no wings are dented, anything like that. Got some marks, but it's nothing too much to worry about. Same again, a little bit of rusting on the bulkhead, but nothing too significant. It's all pretty solid where it should be. Same again, galv effect around here, which has been painted over. Could sometimes be a good idea actually, because it keeps your galv a bit safer. Got some Defender wing mirrors on it. I know we like the original ones down here, but in reality these are better, sorry to say. Possibly could be going back to the original ones, but we'll see. A lovely limestone roof and limestone wheels. And I'll tell you what we're going to be doing with those. Come round to the back. Yeah, it's got a nice back rear door. Cross members, all pretty good. Had some mud flaps at some point, but have been taken off. And tyres and wheels. On the front, it does have freewheeling hubs. Same galv effect again. It does have freewheeling hubs on the front, which is again pretty neat. Not all Land Rovers have them. Some black door tops. Inside, same again. All actually pretty rust free. Quite standard deluxe interior. Got some bench seats in the back. Got the roof, which doesn't have a headliner, which much again prefer. I understand why people say do want headliners. Well, looks like a coat hook there. But yeah, all in all, it's pretty tidy. Usual. Here you go, some seat belts mounted up here in their usual peculiar ways as they are in Land Rover. Chrome gear knob, some safety devices, instruments in the middle, and main instruments. So here we go, hood is now up. You can see she is a diesel. Nice newer battery. We've got some leaks going on around some injectors over there. Just could do a bit of a general tidy up and a bit of a clean. We've got some interesting wiring. You may have seen this. The owners had some issues with the brake pedal and the brake light. This is a temporary solution, something that we're going to be getting fixed. But yeah, all in all, see some leaks going on down here. It's just not in too bad shape. Quite happy with it generally. Had a new ride quite recently. So what are we going to be doing with it? Let's start with the exterior. It's all going to get a good clean and a good wash. To be decided on what happens with the paint. We will do some paint repairs, but largely I think this sort of faded paint quite suits Land Rovers. Any bits that aren't actually exposed metal I don't think are worth us dealing with. Some bits we're definitely going to do, say, is the wheels are going to be repainted and possibly repaint the hardtop, just to give it a bit of a new look. Possibly repaint the door tops as well and go over and touch up some of the galv bits. But all in all, personally, it's just my taste. Don't like them that sort of factory fresh. Don't like them that factory fresh. I like them with a bit of a, like this, bit of a history of the Land Rover sticking out through. So largely we can leave it. I'll probably black out this, so the lettering silver. That's sort of what we like on them. Sort of things, tie down that properly, put some bolts in, put the correct fixings in there, and some stainless ones, get the bumper secured. But yeah, leave it quite as it is, looking like a true workhorse farm Land Rover. and doing what it does best really. On the rear, what I will be doing is sorting out all the chassis. So of course mechanically we quite like them to be how they should be mechanically. So the chassis is going to get Buzzwell chassis all in one, just to tidy up all of it and sort out the fixings as well. And of course in here, it's all in all, it's very good chassis, but just going over it and making sure it's ready for the next few years. Some things as well. On the rear it's going to get a cat flap, so I do have the cat flap for it, which of course will be painted. Going to get a new bottom rear door, so it'll be a drop down tailgate, which will be quite nice for the owner, so they can potentially go soft top. Some things I will tidy up, bits like this. This is an original Lucas light. If you don't know about these, I believe it's an original one. Yeah, they are actually, so you see the metal casing around the top is a full case that goes around a big glass bubble, which that is in there. And the reason why is these are really cool and of course very well made. It's big, all of this is glass behind here with just a metal cover over the top. The new ones of course are plastic with plastic, so they don't get these anymore and they're quite hard to find, so definitely be keeping that. Yeah, I think it will look really good with a split tailgate on the back with a cat flap. That's about it really for the exterior. Not much is going to be changing, possibly just saying touching up a few bits, looking at the wheels, looking at the chassis. I'll show you underneath and then I'll show you what we're doing in the engine and inside. Some bit that we probably will do is we're looking at the ball joints. I think we're going to be replacing these and replacing the rods and also the steering dampener, just so they look a bit old, a bit tired. This massively help with the steering and the handling of the car, particularly on road. So definitely well worth doing for us. For the engine, as I mentioned, it's going to be getting full service, a full inspection, cleaning it, looking through, seeing which parts need renewing. We don't really know until we can get in there. It is running a bit smoky, so hopefully you're going to be refining that and tuning the engine a bit to get her running a bit better and a bit less smoky. As of course with these Defenders, they do need a lot of crank to get them to go, and sometimes can take a few pumps, but we just want to get it slightly closer there so then it's a bit quicker. There's some things like, it's all good on that. There's usually a lot of play on those. The pedal is sticking, so that's possibly going to be somewhere else to look. And just bits like sorting out the cabling, getting it all looking a bit neater and a bit tidier and cleaner. It's already got some sound deadening, so no need to change that. But yeah, giving it a bit of a clean up, full service. Also going to be servicing the gearbox as well and the axles, make sure everything's going okay, and the freewheeling hubs. Have noticed there's a bit of jittering as you go around corners, possibly could be to do with the diffs, so going to be getting up on axle stands and having a look at that. Now inside, you may have to excuse the lighting a bit. Some things that we are talking about doing, some of you who know me will be unsurprised about this, is these benches and these deluxe seats are not a personal favourite. The steering wheel's alright, the gear knob's alright, but same again, not a personal favourite. So, Exmoor trim deluxe seats in the front and Exmoor trim benches in the rear. And one of the things that I do like in my Land Rovers is your seatbelt constantly gets caught in the door, or your mounting points like this, which I know you don't want to be in a crash in your Land Rover, but if you were to bump into anything, that's your mounting point. Yeah, it's a no for me. So we are going to be getting, and the reason why we're doing this, just to fully explain it, because you're going to go, well, there's a mounting point up there. We're getting the over seatbelt hoop from Exmoor trim, so then you can have retractable seatbelts mounted down here, mounted on there, and you've got full 3-point that are retractable, so they won't get stuck in your door. I know you're going to say, well, there's a mounting point up there, but the client wants it, so then the roof can come off in the summer, have it completely convertible, hence why we're doing the cat flap. So there's no point in doing it up there. Every time you want to take the roof off, you'll then be taking your seatbelt off and moving it, so it's faff. Hoop from Exmoor trim, seatbelts in properly. Possibly an Exmoor trim steering wheel as well, and some other bits on the interior. We're going to be looking at the gauges, and of course the dead man switch that is currently the brakes, getting that sorted. Things like possibly repainting these just to get it all to match in, as those are currently still metal, and just giving it a clean up and general go over. A lot of stuff with Land Rovers you don't know until you know, so before you get there you won't be able to find out. So a lot of it will just be inspection and figuring it out as we go. So quickly, one thing I am going to do is get the bonnet off so we can get some light in and have a proper look at the engine. To show you, here's the difference now the bonnet's off with our lighting. We can actually see inside and give it all a bit of an air clean, and then going to get it to dry and start work on it soon. Also going to be getting the rear door off today, and possibly the doors, but we'll be saying about that. There you go then, just taking the rear door off. Didn't film it sadly, but you can now see inside when you have a look. Clean, give it a brush. Seat's definitely going to be coming out. It's all looking pretty good though. So looking forward to it. We may see about the spare wheel if it's inside. If the client wants to keep it in there, we can keep it in there. But if not, it gives you a bit more room in the interior, especially for passengers and things like that. Or alternatively, keep it in there, get X more trim, wheel carrier bag on it, and then you've got loads more storage. So yeah, all in all, pretty happy with it. And yeah. So there is a full walk around and tour of the Blue Series 3 that we've got in for restoration. If you are interested in learning more about what we do, make sure you like and subscribe. And of course, we'll see you next week in the next video.